Hey there, everybody. Thomas Wood with Basecamp Trading. It is Tuesday, August 8th, and we're going to take a look at a couple different markets here. The S&P specifically and 30-year bonds, and some of the trades we had in the trading room that worked out really well. And I'll tell you a little bit about how we traded them. Now, the S&P here, they both did the exact same thing, but in opposite directions. All right, and this is a setup we talk about all the time, and that is a run on the stops. Just reading price action, you can see when that happens. And the way you can tell that there's a run on the stops is you'll look at support or resistance. So in this case, we were looking at support down at 2473 in the S&P. We broke through that support by just a hair, just a couple ticks, and immediately turned around, rallied back up, and closed up. Okay, so what does that tell you? That tells you it's a run on the stops, and you look for it to go the opposite direction. And if you were in the trading room, we were buying on the resistance break at 75 even, at 76 3/4, at 78 1/4, and at 80 1/2, because that was breaking out of the daily channel that we've been inside of for the past couple of weeks. So it worked out really well, jumped all the way up, hit significantly overvalued. It's retracing right now. I'm going into the afternoon, but not surprising. We got pretty extended there. We rallied from a low of 72 all the way up to 88. So pretty big rally. Now, the exact same thing happened, but in the opposite direction in bonds. And what we were looking at in bonds, first off, we had a trend line here for support, come up and across our 120-minute lows. Now, we had resistance up at 154 and 15/32. We had tested that 2 times last night and yesterday afternoon. We broke through that by 1 tick and immediately turned around and dropped. Now, if you drill down on this and you actually look at the 500 tick chart, which is what we were doing, you can see on the 500 tick, we tested that 54 and 15/32, tested it again, popped through it by 1 tick, immediately turned around, closed down, never went back above it. And if you were in the trading room, the way that we actually traded this is we bought the BUB spread. So we went long 30-year bonds and short ultra bond right here when this started to break down. And the reason we did that is that's essentially a hedged short in bonds, because ultra bond is more volatile than 30-year bonds. So for those of you that are going, well, I don't want to trade bonds because it's a big contract. Well, what you have to do, or one thing that we do in the trading room a lot of times, is we will trade hedged positions using correlated pairs. And that's what we did here. We went long the BUB spread, ended up working out fairly well, and it dropped down. Now, the secondary entry on this trade was the bear flag right here, and that triggered as soon as you broke the previous bar's low, when we went down below 54 and 6/32, which triggered right there and just never looked back, accelerated through the floor. And it actually went right down to our target, which the target was on 240-minute price chart, 53 and 17/32 from the previous pivot low. We were saying we have support zone between 22/32 and 17/32. We went right down to the tick to 17 and retraced back up off there. Also significantly undervalued in the 240s, which is day trading targets. So worked out really, really well for everybody in the trade room that took that. But the reason I wanted to point these out to you is because this is a setup that occurs all the time, and it's what we call a run on the stops. Watch for your support and resistance levels. Watch for the market to break through that support or resistance and then immediately reverse and fail. What that tells you is there's a lack of buyers up there or a lack of sellers down below if it's a support break. Normally, when you have a support or resistance break, it should do something like what bonds did here, where you broke through and continued to run and accelerated even more. Alrighty, so that's all I have for you for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Help us get up to this 20,000 subscriber number. And until next time, happy trading.